impossible to think or even act for ourselves anymore. We're manipulated, programmed, brainwashed, right from the start, right from the day we're born. By family, by press, by radio, by television. The more and more we know, less and less of who they are. Who could they be? Is it the boss we work for? Who tells him what to do? Is it the government? Whoever's in power, it seems just the same. So,
service industry. To show their support, the Vice President, Governor Brian Kemp, and First Lady Marty Kemp held a lunch meeting at Star Cafe in Atlanta.
They told me that the meatloaf was their specialty and also suggested the pulled pork, and I said, sounds good. I had both.
April 27th, Georgia was one of the first states in the country to allow restaurants to reopen for dine-in service, a move that President Donald Trump publicly criticized at the time, but one that Vice President Pence now describes as leading the way.
And I have to tell you, President Trump and I couldn't be more proud or more grateful for the clear and courageous and principled leadership of Governor Brian Kemp.
When asked about the Trump administration's change of heart, the governor declined to take a victory lap.
Well, I'm just very excited the Vice President was here. I appreciate the support of the President and him. We've had an unprecedented relationship from them. I will let history be the judge of what ends up being right and wrong. I believe every governor, just like the President and the Vice President, is making the best decisions with the information and the data that they have.
For Good Day Atlanta, I'm Claire Sims.
The animal models all are pointing towards increased optimism that a vaccine is likely going to be possible. However, there are many steps that remain.
All right, but to follow up on that question, I hear you, the good news. Are you worried, though, that when the accompanying stories are about how Endis has made them a whole bunch of money, and it looks like in some cases they want to use that hype to raise more money, that it looks like someone researching a vaccine is more interested in a profit margin?
Well, I think it's always better to have data available to the scientific community at the time of an announcement. And so we hope that the data from the Moderna studies will be available soon, and I hear that they are preparing for that.
Dr. Hotez, you've been concerned about the phrase Operation Warp Speed. Dr. Fauci also has. Explain to our viewers why that phrase in particular concerns you.
Well, what I'm concerned about, Chuck, is we've got a very aggressive anti-vaccine movement out there, and their central tenets are one, that vaccines cause autism, and I've spent a lot of my life refuting that. I wrote a book because I'm a vaccine scientist, the parent of an adult daughter with autism, and wrote this book, Vaccines Did Not Cause Rachel's Autism, which has made me public enemy number one with the anti-vaccine movement. But the other things that they allege is, one, that vaccines are not adequately tested for safety, that we rush vaccines, and that there's this cozy relationship between the pharma companies and the U.S. government. And so everything that's been happening with some of the things Moderna's been doing and others, plays right into all of the assertions made by the anti-vaccine lobby, to the point, and the White House Operation Warp Speed phraseology, which is just awful. So I worry, and the numbers now support this. Reuters just published a study this last week saying that 25% of Americans probably won't take COVID-19 vaccines, even if they're made available, and to the point where I'm worried we won't have sufficient herd immunity to achieve all of our desired effects, and that creates a lot of concerns.
I'm not wearing it here because the cameraman's 6 feet away from me here in the studio, so we're safe. I'll put it on when we leave. But we wear the mask in the White House, and the president's wore a mask where necessary. He did so at the Ford plant. But when the president's out speaking to the American people, or when he's speaking, and if we meet with him in the Oval Office, our seats are always moved 6 feet or so away from the Resolute desk. Then there are times we don't need to wear the mask. But I think Governor DeWine was spot on when he talked about office workers wearing the mask, and mask usage is going to help us get this economy reopened. And we do need to get the country reopened, because we can't get left behind by China or others with respect to our economy. But look, I'm a proponent of masks. Matt Pottinger, who you referenced before, is a proponent of masks, and many, many people in the White House are wearing them, the West Wing are wearing them. We hope that's an example for other folks that when they go back to work, that they'll wear masks in their offices as well.
Ambassador O'Brien, I appreciate you coming on, sharing the administration's views, and I hope you have a safe Memorial Day weekend.
You too.
Maryland, in Montgomery, Alabama.
There are quite large explosions of cases in both very urban areas as well as much more suburban areas, and we're going to be like that for a long time now.
On a per capita basis, Fargo, North Dakota has seen the second highest number of positive cases in the past week. According to our COVID-19 tracker, per capita, the state of North Dakota has tested more residents than all but one state, Rhode Island. But according to state officials, 35% of the state's positive cases were asymptomatic.
We realize a lot of this, as far as trying to get ahead of it, is some of that sentinel testing, because there's so many people there that they have no idea that they are actively shedding that virus.
Does that make fighting this harder, because there are so many asymptomatic people and they could be spreading it and not even knowing that they're spreading it?
Yes, sir. And so you have to have that part of your testing strategy. You have to have some, as we call it, sentinel testing in there, and encourage folks that are, especially in a high exposure rate as healthcare providers or law enforcement, that are going to have exposure just because of their line of work. Even those that are in our service industry, in our grocery stores that keep our food supply going.
Yale Dr. Howard Foreman cautions many asymptomatic carriers end up eventually having some symptoms.
A lot of people will spread virus at a considerable rate before they even have the
criteria. Yeah, we just tweak them a bit. It's easier to get into Upper West Side preschools. All we're getting up here are little old ladies and promise keepers.
Have you accepted the Lord? I'm here, dimwit.
Frankly, those guys weird me out.
We have interesting people. One Tracy Morgan's here.
Tracy Morgan here.
Benefits and making sure we take care of our small businesses and our frontline healthcare workers and our hospitals. Right, we really, you've seen some great work get done. I was in the White House, a group of Democrats and Republicans sitting with the Vice President in the beginning of March, Dr. Birx's first day on the job, and we all walked out and said, during this emergency, it's so critical that we actually come together and put country first ahead of party.
Do you see that the Senate Republicans who are seeking to subpoena information about Hunter Biden, is that political, or is there a legitimate basis in that, and how does that reflect on Capitol Hill?
I haven't read the specifics of their subpoena. I read that in the news. I think all this stuff that starts to rehash, these older issues from cycles before, or tend to be partisan in nature. And I really don't think that's what the country wants right now. I think they want to know how we're going to test everyone who needs to be tested and make it ubiquitous. How are we going to deal with getting protective gear out and make sure our hospitals have what they need, and that our frontline healthcare workers and first responders do, and that we actually address our supply chain issues, because this thing could come back. We heard the CDC say there's going to be a second wave. The question is, are we going to be ready? And
you recently tweeted that 5% of all masks and respirators are made here in the United States. Less than 10% of the PPE is made here in the United States. So as part of the, quote, problem solving, how do you solve that problem in a hurry, especially if we're going to get a second wave? I applaud everyone's efforts to try to solve this, but the partisanship sometimes on Capitol Hill makes it very difficult. They're essentially almost like aircraft carriers trying to turn them.
No, you're right, and Frank.
You're going to China. I thought this war was in Europe.
Yes, sir. You want to plow your fields as you see fit, raise your family according to your own lights. And that's your heritage. And mine. Every American. But the cost of that heritage is high. Sometimes it takes all we have to preserve it. Even our lives. How are you going to answer that, York? It doesn't give me an awful lot to be thinking about.
after the success of their 10-part series on Michael Jordan, ESPN is making a 9-part series on Tom Brady. To make sure it's a hit, the entire documentary will be Michael Jordan watching it on his iPad. Hey, I saw that the Daytime Emmy nominations were just announced. It was a bittersweet day for NBC. The first 6 hours of the Today Show were nominated, but the next 5 were not. Check this out. I saw a new...
Guitar lesson.
Hey man, you've been practicing when I told you.
I meant to, but I lost the pick-up.
No, the guitar? Oh, English. I don't care, baby. Jimmy gets paid either way.
Impossible to think or even act for ourselves anymore. We're manipulated, programmed, brainwashed, right from the start, right from the day we're born. By family, by press, by radio, by television. More and more we know less and less of who they are. Who could they be? Is it the boss we work for? Who tells him what to do? Is it the government? Whoever's in power, it seems just the same.